Councillor Ross Fowler, OAM, I would like to welcome you to the 5th Engineer Regiment being granted and exercising freedom of city to the City of Penrith. My name is one of the Clerks, Jeff Clark, and I'm your MC for today. I would like to firstly acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, past, present and future. The City Council, Councillor Ross Fowler, OAM in attendance, who will act as the reviewing officer. He will be hosted today by the Colonel Commandant of the Royal Australian Engineer Corps, Major General Stephen Day, DSCAM, who is acting as the friends of those members on parade today. The parade consists of 2 armed subunits of the 5th Engineer Regiment, the banner party escorting the Royal Australian Engineer banner, and the parade is supported by the 1st 15th Royal New South Wales Lancers Regimental Band. The tradition of freedom of entry to a city originates from a custom observed by British regiments in marching through the City of London. The fathers of the City of London claimed they had the right to forbid armies of armed troops from marching through the city precincts with bayonets fixed, banner flying and music playing. The claim was based on a privilege which appears to have originated shortly after Charles II became king in 1660. The custom of granting of freedom to a city is a privilege extended only to military units and generally to those which have had a close association with the city in question. Once granted, these units then have the right to exercise freedom of entry. The Regimental Sergeant Major of the 5th Engineer Regiment, one of Class 1, William Lynch, will now march. Right.
Engineers Regiment! Stand at 8! Attention! Stand at 8!
Second in command of Renee Kisney.
First Engineer Regiment, attend!
The commanding officer will now bring the parade to attention in preparation for the arrival of Major General Stephen Day, DSC AM, who is the parade host officer. The RAE will now receive a general salute from the parade. The 5th Engineer Regiment is a reserve unit of the Royal Australian Engineers. Originally raised as the 5th Combat Engineer Regiment on the 1st of July 1995 from the 4 Field Engineer Regiment based at Holsworthy, Sydney. Some of the regiment's sub-units were lineaged from the 4th and 5th Field Companies, which were raised for service during World War I. In late 2013, the regiment was reorganised with 2 sub-units, the 101st I would now like to invite the Mayor of the City Council, Oswald OIM, to address the parade. At the completion of the address, the Mayor will call upon the General Manager of Penrith City to read the scroll promulgating the grant.
Good morning and thank you very much for being here, and thank you for your representation and your presentation. Could I just acknowledge a few distinguished guests that are here this morning? My councillor colleagues John Fane, Brian Cartwright, Robin Cook, Kath Presby and Deputy Mayor Greg Davies, and also from Penrith City Council, the General Manager Warwick Quinn. And also like to give a special welcome to Major General Steve Day, DSC AM, Colonel Commandant of the Corps of the Royal Australian Engineers, Brigadier Michael Bond, CSC and BAR, Commander of the 5th Brigade, Warrant Officer Dave Trill, RSM of the 5th Brigade, Lieutenant Miley Dwyer representing 8 Combat Services Support Battalions, and Warrant Officer 1 Brent Cooper, RSM of the 2nd 17th Battalion of New South Wales Regiment, and Lieutenant Colonel Renee Kitson, RAE Commanding Officer of the 5th Engineers Regiment. In representing Council on occasions such as this, I'd like to acknowledge the unique status of the Aboriginal people as the original owners and custodians of lands and waters, including the lands and waters of Penrith City. Council also values the unique status of the Torres Strait Islander people as the original owners and custodians of the Torres Strait Islands and the surrounding waters. We work together for a united Australia and City that respects this land of ours, that values the diversity of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultural heritage, and provides justice and equity for all. On this day 100 years ago, Penrith was celebrating Armistice, the end of 4 brutal years of war for which our nation paid a heavy price. Close to 62,000 Australians died while serving during World War I. But at 11 a.m. on the 11th of November 1918, the bloodshed was finally over. It's hard to imagine at this distance how it must have felt to receive news of a ceasefire. There would have been great joy, but joy ends with sorrow for those who would not come home. Over time, the 11th of November has become a day to remember all those who have lost their lives in times of conflict, and we do so today. But on this significant anniversary, our thoughts go in particular to those who were first born a century ago. Thank you for joining us today to remember those men and women and to celebrate what this day ultimately represents, peace. And in the right spirit of peace, I am pleased to acknowledge the 5th Engineers Regiment, to whom we extend freedom of entry of our city. This tradition dates back to medieval times. It is a sign of trust and friendship and the highest accolade a city can bestow upon a regiment. Penrith Council has extended this honour to other regiments in the past and is pleased to now grant this freedom to the 5th Engineers Regiment. While the unit has squadrons in Newcastle, Canberra and Holsworthy, its largest squadron is based at Orchard Hills. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to thank the men and women of the regiment for their contribution to our community. In particular, I would like to acknowledge the important role that you played in the aftermath of the 2013 Blue Mountains fires. I'm looking forward to seeing the regiment march through our city centre later this morning. Today's ceremony follows on from a number of events and initiatives Council and our community have held over the past 4 years to recognise the centenary of World War I. In this way, we have been remembering those who fought for our country, keeping their stories alive and honouring their sacrifice. In 2015, our annual history conference was dedicated to the centenary of Australia's involvement in the war, as well as Penrith's bicentenary. We also installed a special interactive kiosk in Penrith Library to give users an insight into Australia's involvement in military engagements in peacetime exercises from 1914 to today. In the same year, the Penrith Regional Gallery held an exhibition called Homefront. It gave an intimate portrait of the men and women who experienced the Gallipoli campaign. As Mayor in 2015, I offered Anzac Centenary Burial Grants, which funded a range of community events focusing on this important anniversary. And of course, we all enjoyed the impressive and moving sight of Poppy Park. It is wonderful to see this initiative revisited today, and I would like to thank everyone involved. Perhaps some of you will remember the Cooee marches who passed through Penrith as part of the reenactment of the famous 1915 recruitment march from Bilganga to Sydney. It was such a tangible reminder of the community spirit that continues to fill the ranks of our armed forces today. In 2017, we also took part in the Anzac Memorial Project. A soil sample was taken from London and Mandilo and some 1,700 other towns from across Australia where men and women enlisted. These samples feature in a new exhibition space in the Anzac Memorial in Hyde Park. Each year, for the past 4 years, Penrith Library has researched and produced a document called Our Fallen. In its pages are the names of histories of 114 Penrith residents who died during the First World War. Next year we will produce a combined publication that will bring the 4 editions together, along with stories of some of the men who returned and the local nurses who served. Copies of Our Fallen are held in the resource section of the Penrith Library, and I encourage you to take a look at them. Our city may have been a long way from the battlefield, but like all cities and towns across Australia, we felt its impact. A local history of the war is included in Penrith, The Makings of the City, an excellent book written by Council's Research Services Supervisor Lorraine Stacker. From its pages we learned that Penrith then had a population of around 3,600 and was a quite sleepy old town, dominated by the music and dance halls and the scent of orchard fruit and the sight of the clear and mighty river. When the call went out in 1914 for all able-bodied men to assist in the war effort, many locals answered the call. Of those who enlisted, 335 were born in Penrith 73 in St Mary's, 21 in Indian Plains, 18 from Mulgoa, 15 from Castlereagh and Putnam, 3 from Kingswood, and 1 each from Jamison Town and Mandala. That's a total of 482 volunteers. A pretty fair effort from the quiet and sleepy town Penrith was then. The Rains book is full of fascinating details, like the story of the last man rescued by Simpson and his donkey, who was from Penrith. And that when the Cooey marches passed through Penrith, the then mayor, Thomas Jones, asked the men to give the enemy a special one, good and hard. It also tells us about the Penrith women who volunteered nurses, cooks, drivers, interpreters, munitions workers, and skilled farm workers, and documents the growth and development that continued here while the war was waged in Europe and the Middle East. Like many in this district, my family history includes links to the First World War. My uncle and my wife Margaret's uncle both served. Coincidentally, they were in the Hunter River district when the war broke out, and although unknown to each other, enlisted there at the same time. They were part of the Australian 1st Light Horse A Squadron and sailed from the Middle East together, leaving Sydney on the 20th of October 1914 on His Majesty's Australian Transport Star of Victoria. Sid Jones saw action at Gallipoli and then served in Palestine. He fortunately returned to Australia at the end of the war. Lionel Fowler died of appendicitis in Egypt in May 1915. He was 22 years old and left a wife and a baby son in Australia. It was not until 1941 when my father, then a member of the 2nd AIF, visited his grave in the Cairo War Memorial Cemetery, that a member of our family saw his final resting place. The conflict was so far away, families had only memories to hang on to as they grieved. By the end of the First World War, Australia had suffered the greatest per capita loss of any Allied nation. There is no question that this level of loss and the way we were thrown onto the international stage made an indelible mark on our country. In fact, many describe it as central to Australia's coming of age as a nation. But it left us and the world at large in turmoil. Soon after the war, an influenza pandemic swept the globe, killing some 20 million people, 10,000 of them Australians. The political, cultural and social order shifted dramatically. New countries evolved and old ones disappeared. New political parties rose up and the seeds of the Great Depression were sown. Most significantly, the clouds of war were once again slowly gathering on the horizon. So for me, the Centenary of Armistice Day is also the centenary of a war growing up in scarred Australia. An Australia that would, all too soon, experience more unspeakable tragedy, but one that would subsequently open its arms to people from all over the world. And that continues to distinguish itself from so many realms and endeavours. For these reasons and many more, Penrith Council is proud to support this celebration of the Centenary of Armistice Day. I would like to acknowledge the federal government for its support, and St Mary's, Penrith and Blackstone, Glenbrook RSL sub-branches, and the Penrith CBD Corporation for coming together to coordinate today's event. Finally, I would like to once again thank the 5th Engineer Regiment for the role it plays in extending humanitarian aid and disaster relief, both at home and abroad, and its dedication to our nation's defence force. It now gives me very great pleasure to officially grant freedom of entry to the regiment for the 5th Engineers, and I now call on the General Manager of Penrith City Council, Warwick Lee, to promulgate that freedom of entry.
Greetings. Whereas many of our citizens have served with pride in your distinguished 5th Engineer Regiment, which, by its great achievements in times of war and peace, has built up honourable traditions. The Mayor and Councillors of the City of Penrith, meeting in Council on the 12th day of March 2018, have resolved in appreciation of your great services to our sovereign, our country and city, to confer upon the 5th Engineer Regiment by this deed and in perpetuity the privilege, honour and the distinction of the freedom of this city. With the right of entry on ceremonial occasions in full panoply with swords drawn, bayonets fixed, drums beating, bands playing and banners flying, and that the common seal of the council be affixed to such deeds.
Now ask the Commanding Officer, Lieutenant Hinson, come forward to accept the scroll and address the parade.
Officer will now hand over the second in command, Major Brian.
Regiment!
Mr. Mayor, Major General Day, Brigadier Bond, distinguished guests, citizens of Penrith. Thank you for honouring the 5th Engineers Regiment today with the right to enter your city. This freedom of entry that you have generously granted to us this morning is very precious to us, not just because it is our regiment's first. It is precious because of what this ancient right symbolises, your trust in us. In granting our regiment this right, you are trusting us to bear arms among you, trusting that we will move peacefully amongst your citizens. What a magnificent expression of trust that is. It is not something that we take for granted. It certainly wasn't in medieval times, and it is just as relevant today as we mark the centenary of the World War I Armistice, when at last peace prevailed on the Western Front. The 5th Engineer Regiment is a new unit, and Western Sydney is our heartland. Not only is our modern headquarters based here, but our founding units have a long, strong and proud history of service to this community. The 5th Field Company was originally raised in Sydney in 1912, and an engineer company bearing that name fought extensively during World War I and was in the line at Mont St Quentin when Armistice was called 100 years ago. Today, many of our sappers live, work and play in Western Sydney. As the commanding officer, I grew up and attended school here. This is our physical and spiritual home. We are of and from and for this community. The symbol of our corps, the Royal Australian Engineers, is the holdfast, a symbol of strength, endurance and protection. Whether it is operational service abroad with our regional neighbours or domestic assistance here at home in times of need, our sappers bravely go where others fear to tread. Just like the original 5th Field Company, sappers of our regiment, the Fighting 5th, are local volunteers. We serve part-time and step up when our country calls. We do this because we are committed to service, and the lifeblood of that service is trust, the trust that you place in us. Without your support, we can't serve at all. Western Sydney is our past, it is also our future. Our heartland here is one of the fastest growing regions in Australia. Our regiment's diversity proudly reflects your diversity. We stand for you and through our service demonstrate all of our shared values that are great and good and universal. Those who feel similarly called are welcome in our ranks. And we can stand strong because we have you as our bedrock, our local community, our sturdy foundation stone. The 5th Engineer Regiment treasures this gift of trust that you have placed in us. This ancient tradition has enduring symbolism based on peace and trust. Let us reflect on those values this Remembrance Day. We are proud to represent you, proud to serve you. Thank you, Penrith, for strengthening the natural bonds between our regiment and our community.
Attend.
Pay to attention. The command honors to draw swords in preparation for marching on the banner. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the march of the Honourable Royal Australian Engineer banner. Personnel in a military uniform under salute, and the banner pass the trophy to their front. In military organisations, the practice of carrying colours, standards or guidons, both to act as a rallying point for troops or to mark the location of the commander, is thought to have originated in ancient Egypt some 5,000 years ago. The Roman Empire also made battle standards part of their vast army. The practice was formalised in the armies of Europe as in hide invaders, the standard being emblazoned with the commanding coat of arms. Regiments adopted colour guards comprised of experienced or elite soldiers to protect their colours. As a result, the capture of an enemy standard was considered to be a great feat of arms. The call of Royal Australian Engineers was presented with Southern Banner on 1st of July 1960.
Banner party, word!
Thank you, and please be seated. Parade will now advance to review order. Let's stand. And those personnel in military uniform, know to salute. All gentlemen guests wearing clean attire with headdress, please remain.
Advance! In review! Order! By the centre! Swing! Engineers Regiment will salute the citizens of Penrith. General salute. Present arms. Arms.
Hey, gentlemen, please be seated.
General salute. Present arms. Red and A. Arms. Red and A. Red and A. Arms. General salute. Present arms.
Parade will now farewell General Commandant of the Royal Australian Engineer Corps, Major General Spencer's Aide, PSC AM.
General salute. Present arms.
Freedom of entry and will march on the city of Penrith with swords drawn, drums beating, band playing,
and banner flying. Commanding officers will now prepare the parade to commence their march to Penrith City to exercise their freedom of entry. Challenger. At a pre-arranged positions in the city and prior to arriving at Naval Changes, the senior police officer will step forward in front of the approaching regiment and raise his hand to signify halt. They issue the challenge to the unit. The commanding officer responds to the challenge, and the police officer will acknowledge the regiment's right and privilege to pass with the mayor and the council's authority.
Who goes there? Identify yourself.
Fifth, exercising our right and privilege to pass through the city of Penrith with swords drawn, drums beating, band playing, and banner flying.
I acknowledge your right. Pass. with the authority of the Mayor and Council of Penrith City.